Hey everybody, it's Neil Myers from WineExpedition.com, and I'm coming to you from Pinot Days in Santa Monica, California. Very excited to be here, and look who I bumped into when I first walked in. It's Craig Hazerow from Sojourn. How are you, Craig?
Great. Good to see you.
It's good to see you again. It's been too long.
Way too long.
Craig, aside from being a fellow Dodger fan, is of course the proprietor of Sojourn Cellars. And if you follow the blog, you know we spent a wonderful day visiting and tasting up there and enjoying the experience. But for those who maybe haven't seen those webisodes, tell us a little bit about Sojourn, Craig.
Yeah, Sojourn is a boutique artisan producer of Pinot Noir and Cabernet based in Sonoma. We have a tasting salon just off the Sonoma Square.
Gorgeous tasting salon.
Where we conduct sit-down, by appointment tastings,
complimentary tastings, which is certainly a feature we like at WineExpedition.com.
Our highly rated Pinot Noirs and Cabernets.
Highly rated Pinot Noir. I might add that in this year's Top 100 Wine issue of Wine Spectator, your Gaps Crown Pinot got a little 95 score, so that's something to be happy about, right?
The wine was very well received in 07, and we'll be tasting through the 08 version here in a couple minutes.
Fantastic. Before we do that, one thing I also wanted to talk about is if you are fortunate enough to stop by Sonoma and go to the tasting salon, Ziggy, is he still around?
Ziggy is absolutely still around, yes.
Tell our viewers about Ziggy.
Ziggy is our 6-year-old Fox Red Labrador who was trained to smell TCA and was trained by a gentleman who actually sells wood to the wine business.
Sure.
And so Ziggy is a good meter and greeter and a fun story, and ended up with a lot of good press last year.
And if there's any corked wood nearby, Ziggy can find it, and that's good to know. So let's jump right in and see what you're pouring here at the tasting.
So we're going to taste through 4 Pinot Noirs. We're going to start with our 08 Sonoma Coast, and then we're going to taste through 3 Vineyard Designate wines.
And of course, the Sonoma Coast is a blend of sort of the different vineyards that you get your fruit for the Vineyard Designate bottles, right?
It is. It's an appellation wine. It's a blend of different vineyards throughout the Sonoma Coast appellation. It's a wine that we really have done a great job to keep at a lower price point. We really want the wine to be in the 30s.
Yes.
From a retail price standpoint, to provide a kind of a great value entry into our Pinots.
Fantastic. Yeah. And of course, Sonoma Coast is a great place to grow Pinot because of the cool climate, the fog, the whole thing, right? I mean, Sonoma Coast is where I think some of the best Pinots come from in California.
Correct, yeah. We specialize on Pinots from the Sonoma Coast, Russian River, and also Mendocino. But we really like the Sonoma Coast appellation quite a bit, and most of our wines do come from the Sonoma Coast appellation. So a little bit about this wine, a little bit bigger than its predecessors in both 06 and 07, a little bit more depth and concentration. It's got some of the San Giacomo, some of the Rogers Creek, and then 2 other vineyards, so it's a 4 vineyard blend. Really nice wine, and again, a great value.
I was telling somebody about Sojourn recently, and you know, I think, and we'll continue this conversation as you pour the next wine, but this is a fantastic drink of Sonoma Coast Pinot.
Juicy, sour cherry, definitely good sized backbone. Really
well,
nice
and certainly some of, what are we pouring now?
This is the Rogers Creek.
Rogers Creek. This is new for you guys. I don't remember this one last time I was at the tasting room.
New vineyard for us. Sits at the southern end of the Petaluma Gap.
Okay.
As you drive from Sonoma to Petaluma, up over Highway 116. Super cold site, unbelievably cold and windy. We'll be sitting in Sonoma, we'll go sample the fruit. We almost feel like we need a jacket and gloves in August.
Wow.
It's that cool. It's that cool.
So while you guys are basking in the Sonoma heat, these grapes are...
These grapes are freezing in 40-degree wind, whipping through ugly fog. This tends to be one of the latest vineyards that we pick because it's so cool.
So cold, the fruit takes so long.
It tends to be our lowest, and it's our lowest in alcohol of all our Pinots in 08, but great concentration. Let's taste together. Very forward, great mouthfeel.
Absolutely.
Mouth coating.
We'll get into mouthfeel in a second. That's what I wanted to bring up. This is so much more focused than not to take away from the Sonoma Coast, but the fruit is more focused, and it's just it's a little bit more subtle. It's not hitting me in the face as much as the Sonoma Coast, and I love the Sonoma Coast. You know that. It's
not. It's a little bit. I mean, it's a concentrated wine, but it's a smaller. It's a little bit smaller in size and stature, and it's got a lower alcohol level, and as a result, that's not gonna be as big in your mouth.
Right.
So what you're feeling is just a little size differential between the Sonoma Coast and this. Lovely wine, pretty wine, very forward. Going to be a drinker-worthy wine.
Rogers Creek.
Rogers Creek.
And what's the price point on that?
$48.
Okay. Yep. Oh, sorry.
And number 3 is the Gap's Crown.
This is the last year was 95. I just want to point that out again.
Big score in the Wine Spectator last year. I want to emphasize that's just one group rating. There was quite a number. We did get quite a number of accolades on this wine.
I mean, certainly, if wineexpedition.com gives you positive words, that speaks volume about your wine right off the bat.
Double volume.
Double volumes. Yeah.
Gap's Crown has a very unique sort of a blue sheen. It's got a blue color to it.
Right.
It's got kind of an interesting blue fruit schema going on. This wine tends to throw a little bit of tannin, a little bit more edge, a little bit of verve. Let's taste it. Great depth. Really kind of a laser-focused wine. I mean, it's a pinpointed wine. A little bit younger drinking than the Rogers. This one, another 90 days will change things dramatically.
Okay. It does have that blue sheen. I mean, you can see the intensity of the.
Really interesting. Yeah, really intense kind of blue sheen color. Correct. And the 4th wine, which has been our flagship wine since 2004, the San Giacomo 08.
This is the bottle that I was introduced to Sojourn with. A friend of mine had suggested it, and we picked it up. And I was on a little weekend getaway. We featured a webisode on the site. My wife and I opened this bottle, and it was like a little bit of heaven in the glass, for all intents and purposes.
You were on a little.
A very quick getaway, yeah.
A very quick little interlude, if I remember.
Absolutely.
Should we come back in a better time?
We're almost done. We're almost done. Don't go away. You have to taste this wine. The point I want to make before we let these fine folks taste some of the wine here is that you mentioned mouthfeel, and there's a lot of good Pinots out there that display wonderful fruit, but I always find that the wines that Eric makes in general, but that the Sojourn Pinots always have this incredible mouthfeel. The wine dances around in my mouth, and just, good food is good fruit, but getting that balance and getting that structure and that mouthfeel, it just makes it a whole nother experience.
We spend a lot of time and effort and energy focusing on tannin management, first and foremost in the vineyard, and then also in the winery. And we really focus our winemaking on mouthfeel. It's our thought that anything that you put in your mouth, whether it's wine or food or another beverage, if it feels good in your mouth, it almost always tastes really good too. So by focusing on the mouthfeel aspect, we can end up driving a much better experience for folks in the mouth.
Well, I have to say, the work that you do pays off in a big way. These Sojourn wines are fantastic. I'm trying to be objective here today at Pinot Days, but I have to thumbs up for Sojourn as always. Craig, it's great to see you.
Neil, thank you so much for your time.
See you soon. Until next time, Neil from Wine Expedition. Cheers.